No, most of us are here, on our own dime. Not paid to be here, no bonus. And so I really appreciate that. It's always a huge deal to me, and so it's a privilege to be here and be with you guys. With that said, got 15 minutes, so I want to jump right in. And does everybody have the presentation here? We've had some awesome stuff already, so Eric and Mike, again, it's great to be here. One of the things I love about our organization, our team, is I think I use the word with Josh Jones, my business partner, a lot. What is, continue to hammer home the fact, what is our competitive advantage as an organization, right? There's tons of people out there doing insurance. I mean, you just get on Facebook or Google, and you can sign up anywhere you want, and like Mike says all the time, you can be at a place 30 days and go to another one 60 days later, and everybody has the newest flashy thing out there. And I really believe, though, the more you stick around, the more relationships you build, the more people you get to talk to. You got Johnny, Eric, Mike, Mike P, Scotty. I mean the whole crew, even our carriers. I was just talking to. As a deep camaraderie, collaboration, special space that's going on, I think, within our team, our organization, and so if that's one thing I could throw out, I really cherish that. It's not a lot of places you could go to, and they're just really spilling the beans on their secrets. You know what I mean? You either get charged $1,000 to sign up for their seminar, or you have to, the 10 times thing, right? And so I really cherish that, and that's one of the things I want to continue to press down hard on. How can we help agents? How can we help agents build teams and long-term companies and reach their goals? Because more times than not, I got into this industry by accident. I was a pastor full-time, and I won't go into all that because I don't want to get the timer over here. But what I run into more times than not is let's just sign a bunch of people up and throw them up against the wall. You say the wet noodle, right? See if any wet noodles stick against the wall, and that is not us. We're not about that. We want long term. We want to we want to join arms with people and pull together in the same direction and do a lot of special things. And I really think that's the culture that we're creating here, or we get to jump into some of the culture that was already laid before us. So I'm really excited about that. Again, just want to jump in here. What I'll maybe do is hit some high points. I'm not going to go word for word. Everybody can read in here, so I always feel like, man, don't read these paragraphs to me. I can go read this later, right? So I won't be that man. Maybe hit some high points, and if you want to even jump ahead, and maybe if I can squeeze in a couple minutes, if you just have any questions. I don't want to pretend like I'm anything extra special. I've won some trips and stuff, but really our goal as a team is to really keep things simple, like Eric said, just give a baseline that people can go back to and have something simple to remember and to jump off of. And so, but one last thing before we jump into this, though, more importantly, I think, than what any agent can try to perform in a home, there's a secret word or a saying or some type of sly trick that you can pull off as a salesman or a saleswoman, is the mindset. I say that more often than not. If you're not going in and assuming the sale, it doesn't matter whose presentation you're using. It's not going to work. You're just a salesman, and you're just reading from something that you memorized. So I can't say that enough. So none of this works here if we're not going in and assuming the sale. And then even more on top of that, with final expense, if you're working the final expense demographic, they're a really special people type. I don't say that in a bad way, but it's important to know who that we're talking with, right? And so the demographic for final expense, if you're hammering home, it's a lower middle income senior, and that's where we're specializing. And so we got to know, why did this person get this place? They didn't just end up being 65, 70 years old, living off of $800 a month and trying to figure that out, and they're still sitting at home, and you can catch them during the day because they got Young and the Restless at 11, right? Judge Judy comes on after that, and then they're going to switch it over to In the Heat of the Night reruns. So and I love what Josh says, they're the super procrastinators. That's their demographic. And so the mindset is, We got to get into the house, and the awesome thing too about this industry is that we're not selling used cars, right? So I'm not trying to get anyone to buy an old Cadillac that's going to break down when they drive off the lot, okay? I am trying to help this Miss Betty because she doesn't have insurance, and now she is scared, and that's why she's sending the card or responding to a Facebook ad. She's scared that she's going to die, and her daughter Jennifer is going to be stuck in a bind. And she doesn't want that to be the last memory that Jennifer has of her. She doesn't want her loved ones sitting around the kitchen table say, hey, guess what, guys? Mom, Betty, she didn't take care of things. We don't have a lot of money either, because everybody in America is living off paycheck to paycheck. How in the heck are we going to figure this out and pay mom's bills and get her buried? And so the mindset is, well, Betty's in that situation because she's procrastinated most of her life as far as making really important decisions that are going to help in this case, right? So one of the things that I do with our agents is, remember, we have to get in the house, get Betty to turn off Judge Judy, grab her and pull her across the finish line, okay? Not being rude, not being arrogant, not being a jackass, but we're trying to help her when we're in the house, right? And we know she's sending the card. She asked us to come help her, but her whole way of living is procrastinating. So that's the number one thing. And so with that mindset, like I said, I want to hit a couple things in here. So the first page, the rapport building, the intro, that's really quick for me. I'm going to do a few tips later if we still have time, and so I jotted down some things here. But one of the things is a lot of this I've just stole from top producers over the past 9 years. Not ashamed to say that, right? Steal from anything you like in this industry. Take it. You can say it's yours. Don't try to sell it. Okay, so that's kind of shady, but take it, and so I'm jumping right in. 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes tops. I don't have to. I'm ascribed to who's the beautiful people on the wall, and I like Folgers coffee too, and all this huge 1 hour thing of what's on Judge Judy today. No, I jump right in and I say the same 2 or 3 things in every single house. Hey there, Mary. This is under rapport building. Hey there, Mary. Anything exciting going on with you today? Mary, you've been staying out of trouble? How long you been living here? Time flies when you're having fun. And I'll hit him on the leg and smile. My only goal here is just to get him to crack a smile. And all of a sudden I feel like that just lets me slide in, as I'm no longer this person that they have walls up, right? Who's this guy? He just wants to sell me something. And they get calls all day long by telemarketers, by the way, too. So get them to crack a smile, and we're there to do business, to help them, because that's what we get to do. And that's one of the things I really love about this business is we get to help people. They asked us to come help them. So again, I'm not going to read this verbatim. That's the part there. The intro is really just kind of refresh their memory, why I'm there. They sent a card in, that's why I'm here. You responded to the ad on Facebook, that's why I'm here. Getting them to agree to the fact, I think someone's going to be talking about tie downs, agree to the fact that you wanted me here, right? Yes, definitely. So we got the intro there. Then we skip to discovering the need. I think Josh and I would agree, is I always say tied for first. I have 3 little girls. My 8-year-old, Nori Grace, love her to death. She's 8. 3 girls. Did I say 3 girls? Can you guys pray for me? Just stop right now and I'll just... middle girl is 5, Tessa Rose, and she is our wild animal. And our 3-year-old is Corinne Pearl. And they always want to know, like, who's your favorite dad? And so I had to figure out a way to figure it out fast. You're my favorite, and then the other ones get mad. But no, you're all tied for first. So anyways, discovering the need, at the very least, is tied for first as far as importance, in my opinion. I think Josh's opinion, in the home. Whatever we do past this, if we can't get them to tell us why we're there, nothing else matters. We're trying to do these funky sales things. And so one of the old industry standards that we use a lot, again, this is just a baseline to go back to and kind of jump off of, the jumping board. Discovering the need, 3 questions. It's pretty simple. Why did you respond to this ad? Send in the card. Most folks that I meet with, so we're going to put them in a category, kind of tie down. They request me to come over, fill out the card, either because they don't have anything, they have some, but it's not quite enough. Or number 3, they just want to be able to leave some money to a loved one. Which one of those do you want it to be? So I'm not moving past this point until I get Betty or Mary to tell me why. Sometimes they'll jump right in. You finish number 1 or right in the middle. Yeah, I don't have anything. Okay, there's the sale right there. Take it and run with it. Don't go out. I mean, I have agents that want to, oh, that's great. So tell me about, where'd you go to dinner last night? No, that is your sale right there. Take it. They need it. Run with it. Sometimes they won't respond to the 3 questions. We still got to get the need. You know, it's like fishing, right? If you don't get the hook in the fish, you're never going to be able to reel the fish in. And so they don't respond to the 3. Again, I'll say, what do you have for insurance? In the back of my mind, we got to figure out why I'm here. If not, I'm going to get out of here because there's a lot of other people that responded and I need to go help. And I'll talk about that maybe in the tips or tricks. So I'm not moving past there until they commit. If I can't get them to commit, you know, sometimes we got these old stubborn guys out in the Midwest. Oh, they can burn me in the backyard. And at that point, I'll just try to make them feel bad. Really? You know, you sent this card in for that? You know, there's going to be other things. Oh, no, throw me in the backyard. Okay, great. John, make sure you don't fill out this card again because I don't waste your time, you waste my time, I got lots of other people to see. So that's really important here for me to get them to get on the hook so we can navigate from there. I loved it. One of my favorite parts of the transitions, like the middle of the next page. Betty, I don't work for any insurance company, so I don't have a dog in the fight. We can always say that honestly as a broker, right? You know, I don't care who you work with, I'm just trying to find you the best situation for you. I love that. If you want to highlight that, that's one I hammer home a lot. I have a lot of success with that. Then why this should work for us. Again, if you have questions, I'm going to try to keep a couple of minutes. Why this should work for us. Again, that's where I'm saying, listen, I'm here to work for you. I don't work for State Farm, Lincoln Heritage, you know, Liberty National. Like, I don't have to come here and try to convince you, that I got this one deal and you have to take it. I mean, we got hundreds of different options that we can look at. Fact finding, that's pretty self-explanatory. Finding the health information. Transition to a close. Again, we're putting them in a group as a tie down. Mary, if you're like most seniors that I meet with nowadays, you're not looking to make anyone a millionaire. You really just want to make sure there's no burden on your daughter Jennifer if something happened to you, right? Like Eric said, man, no yes or no questions. You know, save those arguments for at home with your spouse, you know, like just get them agree with you. You put them in a circle of what everybody else is doing. This is what everybody else decided to do, you know, that's what you're going to do, right? Oh, yeah, right, we're going to do that. So, skipping ahead here. And, you know, as you're going through this, we're not going to be able to hit everything. The transitions are good. Again, the mindset is really important to me. And towards the close, they've already, at that point, they've told us why I'm here, what they want, why that's going to be helpful. I'll close with this, and then if you have any questions, we have a few seconds. But I'm not a big Star Wars fanatic. I think, you know, there's maybe 3 different people with Star Wars, right? You got the ones that don't like it, the ones that saw the old movies and it's kind of cool. Then you got the ones that show up at midnight the night before and they dress up as Chewbacca at the movie theater. You know, I'm probably in the middle. But there's this old scene, I don't even remember what movie it is, but it's Obi-Wan and Luke and they're cruising along in their cool car that floats. What's the name of that? Anybody know?
Landspeeder.
Yeah, what is it?
Landspeeder.
There you go. And so they come up into this town and the stormtroopers are there and they're, you know, like police in the area. And so they stop them and they're not going to let them go. And so Obi-Wan looks up and the stormtrooper says, we need to see your ID. And Obi-Wan says, you know, he's the Jedi. You know what I'm talking about, right? What, is that the very first one? Okay, he says, you don't need to see my ID. And so the stormtrooper says, we don't need to see your ID. And he looks at the other guys, we don't need to see his ID. And then it says something else like, where are you guys going? You don't need to see where we're going. We don't need to see where they're going. Move along. And that is just a beautiful picture to me. I can't get over it. Again, I'm not a Star Wars nutso, but that is the perfect mindset. I feel like when I get to the house and I'm trying to help agents really realize, down into the core of them, we got something to help them with. We have all these carriers products. It's so amazing. I love dealing with all the options that we can help the seniors with. and they have a real big need, but we got to get them across the finish line. And so, right from, hopefully you can see in this brief, just a few minutes that we have together, right from the very first moment, I feel like that's the, I wish I could be a Jedi, but just trying to take that on, you know, this is why you're here. Miss Mary's like, this is why you're here, you know, like, this is how this is gonna help. Yes, this is gonna help me, you know, and just walk on that through and get very confident of that fact, you know. So, any questions at all? I know I won't go over.
Typically a final expense appointment, half hour, hour?
I'm gonna cover that later, as fast as possible. Yeah, if you sell one, you know, hour tops.
Okay.
Yeah.
When
'cause-
you sell one, not if.
That's right. Yeah, when.
When.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I don't beat around the bush, you know, because and I found in my experience, you know, because ministry background, I do like to chat and just check in with people, say hey, shoot the breeze. But then you can cross the line and they'll think of you as a friend, and that's a huge hard objection to overcome, right? Because then, oh, we're buddies, I don't need to buy from him, we're friends anyways, you know, we're having coffee together. Judge Judy's coming back on, you must stick around, you know, so I try to be very, very cognizant of, you know, jumping straight in as we're here to do business. That's a good question. Any other questions? I know we got lots on the agenda.
Yeah, we can hold the questions, because I want to make sure.
No questions.
Stand-
Never mind.
Thank
Keep
you
your
for
hands
that,
down.
Brandon. And-